this is Sylwia for Export News, and this is my first recording about Denmark, and I'm very excited because I just got back from Denmark, so I have the freshest news for you. The highlight of the Export News today will be the interview with Henrik Hammer, who is the producer and the founder of Geranium Gin. Thank you very much for a few minutes of your attention. So what is Geranium Gin? I mean, when did you come up with this idea about producing it?
Well, I've been working with gin as a hobby for like 12 years or something.
12 years, wow.
And I didn't expect to make a gin. I was doing gin seminars and tastings for bartenders and other gin enthusiasts. But one day I stumbled over geranium plant. I found out that geranium had been used with juniper and coriander and lemon for medicinal purposes. So theoretically I had a gin botanical, a new one. Tried to discover the molecular components within the essential oils of the geranium. I also saw that most of these molecules were present in most of the mixes we would be using for making cocktails. So apart from this theoretical match, we also had a practical match. So I contacted my father, who was a chemist, and he helped me to extract all the essential oils that we needed for getting the right flavors out. And then we tried to find out how we could actually distill a real London gin out of geranium plant. And we cracked the code, and then I made a recipe incorporating geranium as the main botanical after the juniper berries. Of course, the main ingredient would be juniper berries, because otherwise it couldn't be a gin. Then we have geranium, which has kind of a very special and floral scent to it. And again, the molecules are very active, so they will go and help the mixers in any cocktail to and sustain the flavors and create balance. And then we've got 8 more botanicals, and that's just pretty standard gin botanicals like coriander seeds, lemon, orange, angelica root, cassia bark, some orris root as well, and some licorice. And but the most important thing for me was to make a gin, a classic London gin, totally balanced, emphasizing that it was a classic traditional gin, but with this special scent of the geranium flower as well.
And this other beautiful bottle here?
This is Old English gin.
How come it's gin and it's such an interesting shape?
First of all, when I did Geranium Gin, that was a classic London gin, the type that derived after the year 1900, when we had this column stills going. Before the year 1900, gins would have a different tasting profile. They would be a bit more sweet, maybe be a bit more spicy. So I thought that to create a tool for the barman to recreate the old classic cocktails made from before the year 1900, such as the Emerson, the Crust of the Flick, the Fix, the Flip, the Smash and the Sour, the Martinez in particular, the Ramos Gin Fizz, I thought that I would recreate the gin, a gin that would taste as in the old days, so they could recreate the recipes from those days and achieve the right flavors, because to create yet again the right balance of the cocktail. Many of those old classic cocktails wouldn't work with the classic London dry gin, but you would need one of the ancient gin types, a little more sweet and round and spicy, to obtain the right taste and flavor of that cocktail hence. So this is a tool for recreating old cocktails, and the London gin is of course for like the modern classics deriving from after the year 1900.
The bottle, how come it's this shape of the bottle? Because
this is a champagne bottle, and the reason why it's in a champagne bottle is because I wanted to recreate gin how it not only tasted in the old days. The recipe is from 1783. I modified that up to modern standards as if I was a gin producer of that time, but knowing that gin should not taste bad. But in the old days, gin was a poor man's drink, and gin would be served in gin parlors and shops and dram shops, mainly coming out of barrels. And people, they would go to these kind of stores and bring whatever vessel they had to carry home the gin for private purpose, for private uses, and they would maybe use a teapot or whatever they could get. If you wanted a bottle to go from a gin store, dram shop or gin parlor, bottles were expensive because they were handmade at those times. But England was in the 1700s and 1800s the biggest importer of French champagne, and there would be tons of empty champagne bottles, and you would reuse them and refill them with gin, put in a cork stopper because we didn't have any plastic. You would dip them either in wax or lead to preserve the enclosure. Of course, we cannot use lead no more. So apart from having gin that actually tastes and has the flavors as in the old days as an original Old English gin, I also wanted to recreate how it looked like in the old days, and it would look like this.
Okay, it's fantastic. Thank you for explaining that. I hope you enjoyed the part 1 of video with Henrik. In part 2, we will be talking about Denmark with more detail about the current spirits, wine and soft drinks market. If you like the video, please like it. You can also subscribe, which would be great. And I hope you will follow me and enjoy the next videos. If you have any requests about the export markets in drinks business you would like to see, please put the comments below. And I'll see you next time. Thank you, bye!